What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout, where the Chiefs are getting ready for Week 4 on Sunday, 3:25, Arrowhead against the Baltimore Ravens. And if you guys watched the Ravens game last night, you should have a little bit of optimism and encouragement that this team is beatable. Are the Ravens better than the Giants? Absolutely, they are better than the Giants, especially on offense, but they're down a couple of key players on defense. The Ravens are along the D-line. I think it's Matabike and Kyle Van Noy. That's just off the top of my head. But that really affected their ability to kind of get pressure at times and then stop the run. The Lions ran all over the Ravens. I don't know that the Chiefs are going to be doing that. Not like the way the Lions did. David Montgomery breaking off for 70 yards. I don't think Pacheco or Kareem Hunt is probably going to do that, but you should have some encouragement and some optimism after watching this Ravens team because, yes, they've put up a lot of points. The Chiefs' defense, though, they're pretty good, and the offense is where I'm going to be like, okay, can you figure it out against the Ravens who are down some pieces and put some points up on the board? It's going to be a hard-fought match. I don't even know if the Chiefs are favored right now. I haven't even looked at the money line. I wouldn't be surprised. I thought I saw they were like 2.5-point underdogs, which, whatever. It's whatever to me at this point in time because the Chiefs just played a very ugly game against the Giants in New York. They won. The first half was awful. You figured out ways to get downfield eventually, got the run game going. You were doing some jet sweeps, going out wide, and doing some outside stuff that kind of gave the Giants' defensive linemen some pause. And you were able to get ahead. So what that did is cause Russell Wilson and company to start pressing even more, and they found absolutely no success. No success in the red zone. The Chiefs' defense played really well, picked Russell off 2 times. Chris Jones got a sack. I mean, there was a bunch of pressures to go around from Omar Norman-Lott, George Karlaftis, and Chris Jones. Again, it's much respect to the Giants, but they're not a great football team. I think we kind of all know that. If you look at power rankings, they are in the bottom 20s. So the Chiefs were supposed to win that game. I thought they would win by 10, hoped they would win by more, but it was still ugly, and they're still trying to figure things out. Butker has had some misses that are a little concerning to me. He's almost missed 5 kicks in 4 games. 1 doinked off the upright last week on Sunday. I understand. He has a great pedigree, a great resume, is one of the most accurate kickers in NFL history. But with kickers, it's pretty black and white. You're either making kicks or you're not making kicks. I don't think the Chiefs need to do anything drastic. I'm just saying there is a small concern level there about Butker, how much he's missed or nearly missed through 3 games. Hopefully he corrects course, and he has, on the flip side, still made field goals for the team and has helped them win. But there's a little bit of a concern there. Still the pass rush, still the run game. They looked better against the Giants, but I need to see that for multiple games in a row, not just one game against a team that is probably going to have their coaches fired here sooner rather than later in the Giants. I wonder if you guys saw that Jackson Dart is going to be the starter. Russell Wilson has basically been benched by Steve Spagnuolo in the Chiefs defense. I saw that announced today. And yeah, I think they need to make a change there. So maybe Daboll is extending his life expectancy as a head coach with the Giants for a little bit longer, but we're moving past the Giants and really on to Baltimore that you're taking on in Kansas City. But I'd love to get your guys' thoughts. That's what's part of the fun here in the Q&A Hangouts. It's not just me, but it's seeing how you guys are, what you're thinking about. There's a poll going on right now. How satisfied are you with the Chiefs' performance in Week 3 against the Giants? 18% very happy. We are back, baby. 45% happy. Sparks of life are there. 33% of you, though, said neutral. Still plenty of issues. And I think that's about where I sit. I'm in between neutral and happy. I saw some flashes that have me optimistic, but you're still dealing with miscues on offense. No real promise in the run game. You're down wide receiver 1 and 2. Kelce, you're not supposed to funnel the offense through Kelce anymore. It's not really ideal. He's 35. He's looking good. He's looking better than last year. Tyquan Thornton, though, has given me some hope, optimism that when you have Rice back, you've got guys that can attack really well at all levels. Rice is your quick guy, yak guy. He can go intermediate as well. Kelce can attack the middle of the field. That's where I like Kelce being used, not really on like the tight end bubble screens and stuff like that. He just doesn't move like he did in 2022 to shake people, to break like multiple tackles and stuff like that. But in theory, you've got Thornton stretching down the field. You could do some stuff with Hollywood Brown. You'll then have Rice. Like, there is a scenario or a possibility that just plays out with the Chiefs offense where they just really start to tick and hum. And I don't even know about Worthy right now with the shoulder. I think he comes back and looks good. In theory, you have a chance of re-injuring that shoulder. But there is a chance that this offense looks a lot better here down the stretch when the schedule gets easier. But your important games you got to try to fight through are difficult right now. And you don't have Rice. Worthy has been out. He's been banged up. You don't really have a run game. I've seen a bunch of comments. Cole, Andy Reid doesn't run the ball. Well, he doesn't have anybody that can run the ball effectively, so why would you keep trying it? Why? Now, they did find some success later against the Giants, and I liked that. But, man, there's no explosiveness. There's no juice in that running back room at all. Yeah, when you had Kareem Hunt in 2018, guess what? You were still running a run play. 23rd in the NFL, run play percentage. 2024, still 23rd in the NFL in run play percentage. The frequency at which the Chiefs run the ball hasn't really changed. Their effectiveness when their running backs are given opportunities is way less effective compared to, let's say, Kareem Hunt his rookie year. Or even just what you can do with some of the running backs they've had in the past in the pass game. Jerick McKinnon. That guy was awesome, I think, in 2022. That might have been his last, great season. But when you look at the Chiefs, what they were able to do in that offense without Tyreek Hill, in 2022, Jerick McKinnon had 512 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns. That's through the air. On the ground, 291 rushing yards and another touchdown. This guy had almost 900 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns, and that's just in the regular season, not counting the playoffs. And so when you go from somebody like Jerick McKinnon to now Kareem Hunt, who is just not quick, can't break tackles, it affects the offense a lot. And then Isaiah Pacheco is running the wrong direction behind the line of scrimmage, and Mahomes is throwing a check down to him as he's the hot. If there's pressure, it's supposed to be the safety valve, and Pacheco's not there. He ran into his lineman one time, and then he was running to Canada on another play, and it affects the offense way more than we think, especially when you're down multiple top targets in the receiving game. So it's not just, oh, Cole, Andy doesn't like to run the ball. You just also need to look at all the extensions of the run game, which I want to see more from Brashard Smith. Jet sweeps. They were starting to introduce that. They ran one to Nico. I did like that. But it's the quick passing game and the passes out of the backfield, too, for the running backs. There's not a lot of trust, rapport, or confidence from me watching those guys. So I don't know why Mahomes would have that either if they're not where they're supposed to be, or if you throw a ball to Kareem Hunt and he can't get to the outside, he can't break a tackle. That's where the struggles are in this offense, and you're just going to have to grit through some of these wins, man. That's just kind of where you're at right now. There's some elements of optimism. There's some elements of this is stressful, but it's not like the Chiefs are alone in these problems. Every team, not every team, but a lot of teams are going through issues right now. I just talked about the Ravens. Their defense is really struggling. The Ravens have put up 104 points on offense through 3 games and are 1-2, meaning they got outscored in 2 of these 3 wins, which is crazy. Or 2 of these 3, how do I want to say this? They got outscored in 2 of their 3 games, They won one, lost the other two. I have some encouraging thoughts after the win, but that's just kind of where I am right now. Slamming with the 4 months, I'd say that I'm happy with what I've seen from Brashard Smith so far. We also haven't gotten to see much. Yep, now waiting to see Royals get snaps in. Yeah, Royals was active. He did not play. 0 snaps. Andy Reid basically said he was there in case of emergency. They weren't ready to work him into the game plan. Maybe they will here down the road. Kyle with the 26-month Redbeard tier subscription renewal. Let's go. 26-month Redbeard here. Haven't told you this, but in February of 2026, you'll be going to Walt Disney World for 13 days. Your birthday will be happening while you're there. Dude, okay. February 2026, you are really thinking ahead, Kyle. Let's go. Love to see the planning. Hopefully, I'll join you if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl in February of 2026. We're going to Disney World. Darrell with the 5. Unfortunately, I think we have to rely on the defense until we get Worthy and Rice back. Hopefully, Worthy is back week 4, Darrell, but even when Worthy's back, I don't know what to expect out of him. He could literally re-aggravate that shoulder on any given play. So if the Chiefs go into a game with Worthy, I think you have to go into it with the mindset of, we have a game plan for him, but we're prepping for alternate possibilities here on any given down. However, the defense, they have some pieces to be able to hold it down. I'm still a little concerned about the pass rush. It's not where you want some of these guys to be. They're in the bottom left quadrant in a lot of these charts. It's not really where you want them to be. But some optimism, some positive progress against the Giants. Their O-line's not that good, especially their interior guys. But they had their left tackle back out over there. I don't think he really gave up any pressures. So any of the pressures that came, it was mainly from George, and then Omar Norman-Lott had some, and then Chris Jones. But thanks for the 5, Darrell. Flip with the 10. I was recently talking with an opposing fan. He was calling out our wide receiver issue, Crushy Rice, and Xavier Worthless. Crazy. Honestly, couldn't get mad at him because not too far from being accurate. I mean, Worthy's been fine until he was injured, but Crushy Rice is insane, dude. That's part of the problem when you're just like Worthy is a smaller bodied guy. It was a freak fluke accident collision with Travis Kelce, but he's little. I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. I think Worthy's 5'11", 6 foot, 170-ish pounds. That's a difference of 30 pounds from me, and I'm only like a couple inches taller. So obviously he could run really fast, and I could not. If a dog was chasing us, I would have to sacrifice myself because he's gonna get away, and I'm not. But I'm just saying, like, there are freak injuries that can happen, and it doesn't help when you're a little bit smaller bodied guy. I hope he heals up quick. I don't know if that shoulder is going to be right until he gets it surgically done, but we'll see. The fact that he hasn't played yet, I mean, what some people I saw talking about the shoulder injury, they're like, well, it's not going to get any worse, so why didn't he just play? Well, part of it is because I've torn my labrum twice. You can rehab and strengthen up around that and help prevent injuries from happening as easily. And then sometimes on a freshly torn labrum, it's pain management. There's a lot of pain. There's stiffness. There's lack of mobility in the shoulder. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. And I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like my pain tolerance is pretty high. I trained in Taekwondo for 12 years. Used to fight, train, do all kinds of stuff. The shoulder injuries that I had was some of the worst pain I've ever felt. Just very hard to describe, very deep in the shoulder, the scapula area, but a very high pain level that I'm not really used to feeling and experiencing. So some of that for Worthy, all that to say, is probably a little bit of pain management too. He freshly popped that shoulder out, tore some stuff, they put it back, and now you're trying to strengthen and get that pain level down. Get him a peptide and vodka? Jeez Louise. Do you think Kareem Hunt is becoming a starter? Oh, do I see Kareem becoming a starter? Meaning just the primary back that's out there a lot more and gets the primary handoffs. I do kind of see them as a 1-2 punch because, again, Pacheco's going to have more of the speed, not as much of the vision. Kareem Hunt is more of your third down back right now. He's okay in pass pro for sure. I just don't love what he presents in the receiving game right now. I think that's kind of just your 1-2 combo. Could he get more reps if they get a little more frustrated or worried about Pacheco lack of vision on some plays? Yes, but just like miscommunication in the backfield with Mahomes like that. There was almost a disastrous play that Mahomes had to save. And yeah, you say, oh, Mahomes shouldn't have thrown it there. He's expecting Pacheco to be there where they practice. It's blind throws a lot of times in the sense of if it's a hot route, pressure's coming, you know, oh, Pacheco's going to be here. We've practiced this. I know exactly where to throw it, and he's just not there because he's literally running over there. He's over there. I don't know where he's going. So yeah, if there's more of those issues, you could see Kareem Hunt getting more snaps in. Hopefully you also continue to see Brashard Smith's snaps increase. I don't know if it's going to be a lot. It seems like they're slowly stair-stepping him. But that would be at least worth trying, worth giving a go. Maybe not like on third downs if they're worried about him in pass pro. Maybe he's not ready yet. He's only played running back for 1 year in college. I get that. I get some of those concerns, but yeah, we'll see. The running back room was the biggest question mark to me heading into the season. I kind of said in a lot of my videos, I don't know what to make of the running back room. Elijah Mitchell's a big what if. Maybe he bounces back and they're hoping for like a Jerick McKinnon resurgence out of Elijah Mitchell, because if you guys remember, Jerick McKinnon did not play in 2018 or 2019 because he had back-to-back season-ending injuries. He then did play in 2020 with the 49ers before coming to KC for 3 years. But then you had Pacheco, you're running it back, and the hope was, well, Pacheco's going to have that speed back, that burst back, further removed from injury. I think it's there, but the vision problems have really shown up. And some of it's a small sample size. It's been 3 games. Let's see how it goes week 6, week 7, week 8. But the issue is the urgency, because you're 1-2, you're taking on the Ravens, and you really don't want to go to 1-3. I think Patrick doesn't trust his O-line. 2 players aren't going to fix everything. No, Rice and Worthy's return wouldn't fix everything, but it would certainly help. The O-line, there's issues. I think Kingsley is trending in an upwards direction. They faced a Giants D-line that is very good. They have like a lot of first-round picks on that D-line. And I thought Kingsley did well. It's weird. If I watched the film back and watched the O-line, I'm like a film junkie, film expert, but I'm watching. I'm looking. I've been watching film now for a few years since running this channel, and I thought Kingsley did a pretty good job. He didn't have as many quick losses as I was expecting. But if you look at his PFF grade, I mean, in pass pro, it looked awful. Like, just from the number to me in PFF, it didn't really match what I saw. But who knows? I thought he was doing better. Jawan Taylor, though, you had the 1 penalty, but it negated a first down run from Patrick Mahomes for like 14 yards on 3rd and 12. He lowered his shoulder to get the first down, turned into a Harrison Butker field goal. But I'm like, man, a illegal formation penalty, Jawan? You should know better by now. There's a lot of people still defending Jawan Taylor online. Some of it's inexcusable. How many times do you gotta fix it? Do you gotta say, oh, I'll do better next time? It's the 3rd year with the Chiefs. Yes, he was unfairly targeted his first year here because of the complaining on Sunday Night Football or whatever that game was. But this is year 3. It's year 3, guys. It's one of those things where it's like, I have more grace and patience, I think, with Kingsley because it's his first year at guard, or more grace and patience with, I'm trying to pick somebody else, like a rookie. Jawan Taylor is a veteran. That's where I get a little bit more frustrated. Yes, he is good in pass pro when he's not drawing flags. This man has 50 flags in 45 games with the Kansas City Chiefs. Regular season in the playoffs. He's averaging over a flag a game and killing, not every game, but a drive or 2 every couple of games. And that's where my frustration lies, especially combined combining that with the fact that Jalen Moore is on the bench and you're paying him $30 million over 2 years, he's right there. I understand if you're saying, well, if it's not Jawan Taylor, it's Wanye, and we don't want Wanye out there. Okay, well, you got Jalen Moore over there. So I'm just saying, how much longer are they going to put up with elementary mistakes? Illegal formation really grinded my teeth, man, because you know where you're supposed to line up. You can't line up too far back from the center. So that's where I just get frustrated with it. But yes, if you look at the pass protection graph that was circulating around on Twitter, Josh Simmons is in the top right, and Jawan Taylor is not far behind. But the flags are the net negative frustration for me. I don't want to rant too long about Jawan Taylor, but man, that's just kind of where I'm at with it. We were talking about the O-line, and because somebody was saying Mahomes doesn't trust his O-line, and I kind of agree to an extent, because it's either sometimes Jawan was losing the other night, Trey Smith had some losses, Kingsley was losing, Josh Simmons gave up a few pressures as well. But again, I think you need to put into perspective a little bit that Giants D-line is just very good. It's about the only bright spot on that entire roster other than Malik Neighbors. He doesn't even need that. Usually just waits on the guy then. Oh, I'm mid-convo with somebody. What do we think about the Chargers starting 3-0, beating all 3 divisional opponents in the first 3 games? Only concerned about the Chargers to win the West over us now. Yeah, it's very early, but you're right. They've found ways to win against the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Broncos in a close one over the weekend. Yeah, the Chiefs are 0-1 in their division, 1-2. Everybody else in the division, by the way, is 1-2. The Raiders and Broncos, I believe, are both 1-2. But yeah, the Chargers are 3-0 and have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs right now. Basically, the Chargers game down the stretch is a must-win game for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you get Rice back and you have 5 AFC West games upon Rice's return, including Week 7 against the Raiders. And man, they look really bad. I troll a lot less on this channel than I used to. I think just because the more I study and watch the game, like I have a lot more respect for just players and teams in general because of how hard it is to do what they do at a professional level. But dude, the Raiders are a bad football team. You just watch them. It's very ugly football. Like what we saw the Chiefs do against the Giants in the first half, we're like, dude, that was like actually disgusting. We were almost like repulsed by it. That's like the norm for the Raiders and some of these other teams, and they don't look much better with Geno Smith and some of the other changes. Now, that being said, when the Chiefs play the Raiders, it's probably going to be a one-score game down to the wire. We don't know who's going to win, but yeah, the Chargers are a good team. I thought the Broncos would look a little bit better than they did coming out the gate. Bo Nix has really struggled, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL on early downs. Meanwhile, Justin Herbert's looking great, and he is a great quarterback. I have him as QB6 in the NFL for a reason. I think he's a really good quarterback, and John? Oh, God bless. I'm getting the Harbaugh coach's Jim. I was right the first time. Actually, I don't know if I was right the first time. Jim Harbaugh is really drawing the best out of him, and they're building a good roster there. Now, Najee Harris tore his Achilles. Super unfortunate. He's out for the season. We got a 50 bomb. Oh, shoot, Jennifer with the 5-0 bomb. And then Brand with the 5 in the comment. 1 second. I just realized this computer is black. What the? Hello? I don't like looking at this screen over here and then I just see the black TV. It really, black computer screen really bugs me. But Jennifer, holy smokes, thank you for the 50. Brand with the 5. Looking at the last 3 weeks of the Ravens, their run defense is the weakness that we can capitalize on. Only our run game is also a weakness. Yeah, so hopefully it evens out a little bit and the Chiefs' run game just looks a bit more effective. Is Justin Herbert MVP right now? Honestly, it's so early in the season. I haven't even looked and like compared quarterback stats. I feel like I don't even look at that stuff till week 6, week 8 from then on, but he's playing at a very high level. Yeah, he's definitely playing at a high level. Yeah, man, what the Lions did to the Ravens was absolutely insane. David Montgomery had 12 carries for 151 yards. That is hilarious. Jahmyr Gibbs, 22 for 67. They both had 2 rushing touchdowns apiece. Jared Goff was still 20 for 28, 202 yards and a touchdown. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson played pretty well. 21 of 27 for 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but 7 sacks. This man was sacked a career high 7 times against the Lions. I don't have a lot of hope for that to happen this week just because the Lions' pass rush is on a different level than the Chiefs. But Lamar also fumbled in the red zone. Derrick Henry also fumbled and lost a fumble 3 games in a row here. Heading into this season, Derrick Henry has had 3 fumbles lost in the last 2 seasons. This season alone, fumble week 1, fumble week 2, fumble week 3, Bumblebee Tuna. I don't know why I said that, but it just sounded like it was some Jim Carrey reference there. But fumble, 3 games in a row. Can it be 4? I really hope so. Mark Andrews looked really good out there, especially on one drive all the way down the field. Scored 2 touchdowns, 1 at the end of the game, almost garbage time, but 1 earlier on. Rashad Bateman will be one to watch. He was targeting him a lot because a lot of people are keying in. A lot of teams are keying in on Zay Flowers, which is who I would consider to be the Ravens wide receiver 1. And these will be some guys to watch. Charlie Kolar was interesting because Isaiah Likely is out, so that's a tight end that you don't really hear about very often. I was like, who is that guy? But Isaiah Likely, guys, might be playing in this game. It seems like, and I don't think it's like conspiratorial stuff, but it seems like when the Chiefs play a team, they get a key player back. Last week, it was Andrew Thomas, their left tackle. This week, Isaiah Likely, that's tight end too. A very good combo between Likely and Mark Andrews. And if you remember, Likely was the toe guy last year, week 1. His toe was out of bounds. That close to potentially beating the Chiefs. They were going to go for the 2-point conversion there at the end if that toe was in bounds and try to win it. But yeah, this is a good team. I think the Chiefs have won every matchup but one against the Ravens in the Mahomes and Lamar Jackson era. And that one loss came on a fluke freak fumble. Speaking of Derrick Henry fumbles, a fumble by Clyde Edwards-Helaire near the end of the game. And the Ravens ended up capitalizing on that and winning. I think the Chiefs probably win this game, but I am just slightly optimistic that they do. This is just such a weird Chiefs team right now. And yes, it takes the first quarter or so of the season to get your identity figured out. Okay, I understand that, but it's still a very weird Chiefs team right now. Dante said, I am looking forward to one of y'all going 1-3. Somebody it definitely is. Do you think the Chiefs will win, and what is your opinion on the run game? Yeah, I guess I just kind of answered the first question. I think the Chiefs do win. But again, if you're going to miss field goals, miss extra points, like do all this weird, we don't know how to play football thing until like the second half, the Ravens are going to make you pay. I think the defense will do their thing, but I need the offense to be a little bit more consistent. The run game, we'll see. They're not great against the run right now, talking about the Ravens defense. If I look up, I want to look up something. Team rankings, Ravens. I haven't looked this up yet, but I'm curious where some of their stats are at. I'll be doing a preview video kind of later on in the week as we dive into some of the stats. But listen to the Baltimore Ravens defensive rankings. I mean, I can share the screen if I can zoom in and make it look right. Let me see if I can do this. Zoom out once. All right, look at this. The Ravens defense is allowing 32 points a game. That's second worst in the NFL. 415 yards a game. That is worst in the NFL. Yards per play, 5.8. That's 25th in the NFL. They're giving up the third worst yards per game. Third most yards per game, 149 on the ground. 266 yards through the air. That is 31st. So right now, the Ravens defense is not great. I don't know that it's weird. They have better players than the Giants, but they're statistically not better than if you dive into some of these stats than the Giants. It's really weird because I like Kyle Hamilton a lot. Like, they have some players, but I don't really get it. So hopefully the Chiefs can take advantage of that. All that to say, can we score 30? I don't know, Glow King. You might need to against the Ravens, unless Bags comes out with a really good game plan and kind of clamps them down. Thoughts on Matt Nagy? Indifferent. I've been indifferent on Matt Nagy, I think, since he came back. I was fine with the new offensive coordinator this past offseason, just for fresh blood in the room. And this offseason, I kind of hope they do. I understand it's Andy Reid's offense. He calls the plays, all of that. But, man, it would be nice to have just somebody not from Andy Reid's coaching tree in the room to infuse some new ideas. Maybe even if it's like Mike Kafka, I'd be open to that. I understand that kind of is from Andy Reid's coaching tree. He was formerly the pass game coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs before becoming the offensive coordinator of the New York Giants. But he's been out for a couple of years, has learned a lot. I wouldn't mind it. Just some fresh ideas in the room would be fantastic. Marcus with the 5. What's up, man? Good to see you. Hey, Cole, what day would be best for member stream and Zoom? Sorry if you already announced it and missed it. No, but we are kind of running out of time, aren't we? We are kind of running out of time, running out of days. I wonder if we just do this Thursday and call it good. We do the members stream. I take a break for my Fox 4 interview, and then we do the Zoom call while we watch Thursday Night Football. That might be the wave. It might be Thursday night in 2 days, the 25th, because next week, September ends on a Tuesday. We're probably going to do the 25th, so in 2 days. Mark your calendars. Pull some strings, Ben Johnson. Oh, yeah, and if they want to go get somebody else, the problem for some of these guys, like let's say McDaniel of the Giants gets fired, which he might. Some of those guys are not going to want to go to a team to be the OC that's basically like a mouthpiece of Andy Reid. They're going to want to potentially go to a team that has a defensive-minded head coach and they can actually run the offense. But I would not complain if you could bring in somebody like that at all. Casey with the 10. Just because we are 1-2 doesn't mean we can't keep the super chats going. Casey, you are the man. Come on, HBTC crazies. Nah, it's all good. I appreciate it. That is never an obligation here on this stream. But, dude, I really appreciate the 10 bomb and the kind words. Do we have an official reason why Elijah Mitchell isn't playing? He showed a little promise with San Francisco. So basically from what I've heard about Elijah Mitchell is he underwhelmed in training camp and maybe even OTAs before that and during preseason. He underwhelmed enough that he is inactive and they would rather have Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, and Brashard Smith than Elijah Mitchell. And it's kind of like Jared Wiley. They would rather have Kelsey, Noah Gray, and Robert Tonyan rather than Jared Wiley because you can only have so many guys active, so you have to strategically select who is going to be inactive and how many guys of each position group you're going to activate. Now, let's just say, I don't want injuries anywhere, but let's just say one of the running backs or something was dealing with a potential injury that could affect them. You might see Elijah Mitchell activated, but he's just kind of underwhelmed, and it doesn't seem like he's fully bounced back to his pre-injury self, because remember last year he missed all of it on injured reserve with a very serious hamstring injury. Anytime you miss the entire season with a hamstring, it's not great. Well, Cole, I guess you're up. OC Cole, let's go, my guy. You don't want me. They need somebody, though. Somebody said, do I think Mahomes is regressing? I mean, not really. I try to look at that without being a Chiefs homer, but I watch the games. I'm in the film, and then I'm watching games of other quarterbacks, and I keep going back to an underrated factor that the Chiefs just don't have a run game at all. It's one thing to be down your top two receivers, Travis Kelce getting older. The O-line is struggling a bit, for sure. But then you have absolutely no run game, no threat, no explosion. Like James Cook is doing incredible things and really helping Josh Allen at times. Lamar Jackson, when he's not fumbling, has Derrick Henry. Like, you just look at some of these teams and the run game they have, Baker Mayfield, Bucky, Irving, Rashad White, Jared Goff, he's got Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, the Chiefs have nobody. And I'm not trying to just speak down on the running backs that the Chiefs have in the room. It's the coach's fault. It's Veach's fault. It's not their fault, the running back's fault. They are who they are at this point. So part of my frustration is Mahomes is doing more with less than almost anybody else in the NFL right now. Oh, Cole, you're just saying that because you're a Chiefs fan. Show me a worse situation for one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL and what they're able to do with it, because they don't have much. Now, again, it will help when you get Rice back from suspension and if Worthy can go back out there. But when Mahomes has to be the leading rusher, when the offense is still 7th in EPA or almost 4th in EPA if Travis Kelce would have caught that touchdown against the Eagles, and you look at who they have, like, I was just looking at the Lions team last night. Dude, they have so many weapons. It is actually unreal how many weapons they have. Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. Like, it is crazy to me. And then Pacheco and Kareem Hunt probably wouldn't be a starter on like half the teams in the NFL. So it's just not a great situation. I don't know what else to say. I'm not even trying to make excuses, because there are times and there is flashes of promise from Thornton and some other things that show me, okay, the Chiefs can move in the right direction. Mahomes also hasn't been perfect. I have talked about them. He's missed throws. He hasn't hung in the pocket when he could, but he hasn't trusted the line. So he thinks it won't hold up, and it does, and vice versa. You're kind of going through the growing pains there of having Kingsley Suamataia never playing guard before, and then Josh Simmons is a rookie. Jawan Taylor is struggling at times. Trey Smith has given up some pressures. Yeah, and then you've played some really good teams. You played the Chargers. You played the Eagles. Those teams are good. The Eagles are Super Bowl champs. I thought they weren't good on offense until they randomly just flipped a switch last week against the Rams and scored like 26 unanswered points and blocked a couple field goals and ended up winning that game. And A.J. Brown had over 100 yards and Hurts started just slinging the rock. I'm like, what the heck where did that come from? They're still a good team. So are the Chargers. So the fact that the Chiefs have had opportunities to be 3-0 with all the issues I brought up, it does show you what all Mahomes does in that offense. And the defense is playing well. They're playing better. It takes everybody. Darrell with the 2. Even with Rice back, we still have no running. Yeah, I agree with you. And I almost feel like I've ran that conversation into the ground. I'm over here like, go get help, please, Veach. Do something. I don't know what you can do at this point. You're going to almost have to wait till the trade deadline and find a team has no shot at making the playoffs and get a guy. Now, I like the idea of Alvin Kamara, but I asked Jared Sapp of Arrowhead Pride to look at his contract and let me know his thoughts about it. But it's not a extremely digestible contract either. He's got an $11.5 million salary in 2026, $3 million guaranteed. They also are going to want to trade. Like, you got to trade for him. The Saints aren't going to want Kamara to go for nothing. So I don't know that there's an easy answer here. They are a pass-first team. Hopefully, maybe some of it's in-house. Maybe Brashard Smith, like Worthy and Rice. I need water, sorry. Like Worthy and Rice, the back half of their rookie years, maybe Brashard Smith starts to come into his own and he's getting a higher snap count and he's kind of your juice guy in the running back room. And then we're like, okay, well, they didn't really have a run game, but now they kind of have a run game. And you have Rice back and Worthy's playing. Travis Kelce's looking fine out there. I think he's been fine. I think that'll help. But some of it's unknown at this point in time. Marcus with the 5 said, I just had to rip up my kitchen floor due to a water leak. That is not good. So I'll be cleaning for a little while. Wish me luck. Been good. See y'all. Marcus, dude, good luck. That is stressful. Thank you for the gifted as well. Dawn with the dollar bill. Appreciate it. Yeah, you could get Kamara on a 1-year rental, eat $3 million for 2026 to do it, and who knows what draft capital they would want, but it is possible, and Kamara would instantly be your best running back in the room, and it's not even close. Get him in the room, ready for the playoffs, and let's go. A lot of people say Achane. The Dolphins aren't getting rid of Achane. He's got 2 years left on his rookie deal, and he's one of their key pieces. If you hit reset, you have to keep some of your cheap, productive players and offload your aging vets or guys on expensive contracts. And I just think Achane is going to stay there. Unless the Chiefs give up more than you would think in a trade, they might be like, well, we're not going to the playoffs anyway. We could use a couple of these picks, but I don't know. It's a conundrum. It's complicated. Yeah, I've already talked about Kamara and Achane, Kit Kat. Breece Hall, I like Hall as well. I don't know. I think he's probably going to be very hard to get. Like, I don't know why the Jets would want to move on from him, because is he not still on his rookie deal? He's on the last year of his rookie deal. Well, that's a little more interesting. That's a conversation for the Jets front office, in the sense of if they don't want to extend the guy and they just want to move on, but they're like, well, he's either going to be a free agent after the season and we're not going to the playoffs, or we could trade him and get a draft pick. Don't mind that one bit. So it's possible. I don't know how realistic it would be, but I do like that one a lot too. I do. Let me switch my chat. It was just on top chat. My bad. You missed Jerick McKinnon? Yeah, I talked about him earlier, and he was very key to it just goes to show you, I think, what a valuable running back can do in the Chiefs offense. You didn't have Tyreek Hill in 2022. I want to show you guys something. Because 2022 was the year Mahomes had 5,200 yards, league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and they didn't have Tyreek Hill. But they had a dependable run game, or a dependable running back. That was also that draft class rookie year. I mean, Pacheco looked fine out there, but you had a complimentary back with him. Let me see. Why does it say off season? Oh, I want 2022 regular season. Oh, there we go. I was like, what the heck? Okay, here we go. I mean, Pacheco's fine in the right role. He had 830 yards rushing. Jerick McKinnon had 300. CEH had 300. But Jerick McKinnon through the air, he was your wide receiver 4 in production. And so what I'm getting at is you've had a reliable pass catcher for the behind the line of scrimmage or short checkdowns to McKinnon. You had a very healthy Juju Smith-Schuster, and Travis Kelce still absolutely in his prime. This was the best year of Travis Kelce that we'll probably ever see again. Most recent best year. He still looks good this year, but he's not this guy. He's still good. Don't get me wrong. But when you had Kelce in his prime, Juju, and then a valuable running back room, again, I know you still have Pacheco. He's fine in the right role, but you had McKinnon in the pass game. It unlocked a lot for this Chiefs offense, man. And you just don't have that back there. Where is he at? He's a free agent, probably basically retired. He hasn't officially retired. You missed the 2022 Chiefs team. Yeah, I mean, since then, they've made multiple Super Bowls again, but that offense was fun. Unrelated question, you know who Jackie Stiles is? No. Should I know? Should I even Google that? I'm afraid. Oh, basketball coach? Okay. No, I don't know anything about basketball. I did see on Twitter that some coaches weren't getting their contracts renewed in the WNBA. Juju was kind of in his prime still in 2022. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. It was still a very healthy Juju Smith-Schuster. 933 yards. That's nothing to scoff at. Cool, the Chiefs need to get Breece Hall. I'm down. I'm down, Maddox. Trade Mitchell. I don't know if he has any trade value. Oh, that's your aunt? Oh, that's cool. Really? Nice. Oh, that's pretty cool. Where did I get this shirt? Downtown Lee Summit. I'm trying to find what the name of the store is. Is it made in KC? No, Local Foundry. I got it at Local Foundry in downtown Lee Summit. That's where I got it. Trade FAU? Well, he's on IR for the season. And you're not going to be able to get him, anything out of him. Juju was solid against the Giants. Yeah, well, and to the point about Juju, he's a lot healthier this year compared to the last couple, and I think he's fine. But he's not your number one guy outside of Travis Kelce in 2025. That's Rice, that's Worthy, but you're dealing with injuries, so. What's everyone's thoughts on Mahomes being off target? I think it's overblown. He actually has, I think, the most 30-yard passes downfield in the NFL. And when you look at the passing charts, I would have to find it. And maybe I can. Like, I'm kind of scrolling down Twitter and seeing if I could find it. But the deep passing chart for Mahomes is not bad. He's in the upper right quadrant with some of the top QBs in the league throwing the deep ball. The problem is we're just used to Mahomes from his earlier years where it seemed like every deep ball hit. But it's just not really always the case. If I can find that chart, I will pull it up because looking at it, it's like, dude, Mahomes is up there with like a lot of good quarterbacks that you would think, oh, well, they're hitting the deep ball. They have a pretty good passing game. And he was up just a lot higher than you think. And it was encouraging. I think the Mahomes downfield stuff is overblown. Personally. Not even just trying to be a homer. Sure, he's missed. He's not been perfect. Here we go. Here it is. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. QB accuracy and efficiency on deep passes. You know what? I'll do one better. I'm going to download it, and I'm going to drag it into here on screen so we can really see it. Okay. QB accuracy and efficiency on deep passes. Those are defined as throws 20 or more air yards down the field. So the further to the right is the higher EPA per pass attempt. The higher up is catchable percentage on deep passes. Well, the way people are acting about Mahomes' deep ball is that he's Trevor Lawrence. He's Mac Jones. He's Penix down there. Jake Browning. Cam Ward. No, he's in the right side by Josh Allen, Bo Nix, Goff, Hurts. There's not many quarterbacks over that. Daniel Jones is playing well right now. Brock Purdy and Matt Stafford are the only ones really higher. So, all that to say it's overblown. He's not hitting everything. He could be better. He could be more accurate, but he's not doing that bad compared to the rest of the league. It's just overblown at this point, in my opinion. When was Kelce's prime? I think 2022 was probably like the last year at the peak of it, but he was so good that he's still top 5 to top 10 tight end in most metrics, even today at the age of 35. So I would probably say 2022 was the last of it, of just at the top of the summit. But I'm not sitting here saying, well, 2023, he did this. I think it's just been just a little bit of a decrease. Yeah, Tyquan Thornton helps with that too. Yeah, he does. Absolutely. Kelsey's prime was around 2016 to 2022. That sounds about right. Yeah. But still, he's still playing at a high level. So I'm not trying to be... I understand people get really defensive of players. I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say he's no longer in his prime. He's still playing at a high level, just not that level, if that makes sense. But I think once you get Rice back and you've got some other targets, it's going to help open up Kelsey even more in a good way. What's up, JR Lights? I'm feeling pretty good, man. How are you? 3 games into the season and the MVP chance is over? No. I mean, I don't care about that. Maybe you guys do. I don't think Mahomes cares about that. Nobody on the Chiefs team is caring about any regular season accolade. They want to win some games. That's kind of where we're at with it right now. Mahomes still building chemistry with the receivers and adjusting to aging Kelsey. You know what's interesting, too? He's only played 3 games with Tyquan Thornton. Think about that. Thornton signed in November to the practice squad, and this is only his 3rd game with the Kansas City Chiefs. And Tyquan Thornton, I believe, is younger than Rashee Rice. I believe. Let me look. Tyquan Thornton age. This man is 25 years old, was born August 7th, 2000. Rashee Rice was born April 22nd, 2000. So Rashee Rice is, what, 4 months older? Crazy to think about that. And all that to say, like, Tyquan Thornton can still get better. He can still improve. And Mahomes and him are going to build even more rapport, which is exciting. Patrick Mahomes will be a Super Bowl MVP. We'll take that. Thornton's on track for, 1,000 yards, which is, pretty crazy. Through 3 games. I think you can go to a player's stats on ESPN. I'll show it to you. You just type, you go to ESPN, you type in a name, and it's got, their projected stats here. He's on pace through 3 games for 51 catches, 969 yards, and 11 touchdowns. Will that pace continue upon Rice's return and some of that stuff? Maybe not, but maybe it can, because you're talking about a few passes downfield a game. I mean, why can't he do that? He's got 9 receptions through 3 games. Why can't he have 2 to 3 catches a game and continue the pace? I don't know. Just saying. You never know. It is kind of wild that Rice is older. It's only by 4 months, but still kind of a crazy stat. Rice going to eat all those yards? I thought everybody got to eat. Only asked because I didn't watch football back then. Oh, yeah, no worries. I didn't know if you were being defensive. I didn't think you were, but just I like to cover the bases here and just let people know, hey, I'm not being disrespectful. But yeah, you want to watch something crazy, go look at Travis Kelce 2017 highlights, Travis Kelce 2018, even 2019 highlights, and just go watch that guy move. He's burning everybody. Corners, it did not matter at all. And he's burning them all. And he's a tight end. It was pretty unreal. Just take the speed that Kelce has now and the agility and move it up 15 to 20% sometimes. That guy was fast, diving, it was so fun. You forget because you watch all these games year in and year out, right? And you're just watching the player. I just forget until I look back and I'm like, dude, what the heck? Yeah, crazy. Who are you talking about? We're talking about Kelce. Talking about Travis Kelce. Realistically, do you think Mahomes will pass Tom Brady in GOAT status? I think there are going to be certain people, some camps, that no matter what Mahomes is able to accomplish the rest of his career, they'll always just say Brady is the GOAT because he beat Mahomes twice in the playoffs. And, once in the AFC Championship, once in the Super Bowl. So to that, I just say Eli Manning is the greatest of all time, and nobody's ever going to surpass Eli Manning since he's 2-0 against Tom Brady in the playoffs. So I think Eli Manning is actually the GOAT, and that's who they're all chasing. But no, if Mahomes wins a couple more Super Bowls, it's just an argument of there's just going to be certain arguments. I think Mahomes might be the most talented player at the position of all time. Will he ever get 7 rings? And that's what some people are only going to base the GOAT metric on, is who has more rings. And then even if Mahomes got there or got close, it's, well, Brady beat him in the Super Bowl and beat him in the AFC Championship. He can never surpass him. D Ford, I hate you. Since I'm a new fan, I watch older games all the time. Sometimes I fall asleep to the one AFC Championship game. Let's go, Kelsey. That's a great one. If you're talking about the 13-second game, whew, it's a good one. I love that there's newer fans. Whether you were brought here because of like the Kelsey and Swift stuff or just the Chiefs' growing popularity with all the winning and Mahomes and all that stuff, like, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just really cool that more people are getting into football now, because I grew up watching it like with my dad. So some of the most fond memories I have, I'm not going to cry today, guys. We're not doing it. But some of the most fond memories I have is literally my dad sitting down, yelling at the TV, cussing at Marty Schottenheimer, throwing the bad call brick, yelling at Elvis Gurcrack, is what he called him, and Steve Bonehead. Like, these are some of my favorite childhood memories, just like sitting down and watching football with my dad. And to have, this is his bad call brick from the 90s. Like, we just found this in storage, which is so cool. So to see other people now having memories watching football, hopefully you're able to watch it with friends or family in some capacity. It creates memories that I'll never forget. Mahomes was still young when he lost to Brady, though. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the AFC Championship was literally his first year as a starter. Yeah. Super Bowl 55 was a bloodbath. I mean, there's no way around that one. That O-line was shredded, and that D-line of the Bucs feasted like sharks smelling blood in the water. It was awful. And I feel like Mahomes played pretty good in that game. He threw some passes that were catchable. Tyreek dropped one in the end zone or near the end zone, and then the Superman throw, sidearm, who did it bounce off of the face mask of? Which running back was it? Was it Damien? I'm trying to remember. See, Dweller, I probably butchered that name. DLWEXR. Can't pronounce it at all. I'm so sorry. But she said, my mom is pumped. I'm finally watching football. She's waited 27 years to be able to talk sports with one of her daughters. I love talking ball with her. That's freaking awesome. That's what I love. And my kids are still young. I got a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old, 2 daughters. Yeah, Daryl Williams. Oh, Daryl? Is that who it was? Yeah, Daryl the Barrel, right in the face mask. Usually, bam. And those were 2 catchable passes. It was difficult, tough asks, but that game's closer. But yeah, my daughters are more curious now about football a little bit, but they're hilarious because they're so young. So we were watching Red Zone the other day, and somebody scored a touchdown, and my 5-year-old goes, "Dad, they won! They won!" Because I guess she just thinks if you cross the goal line into the end zone and everybody starts celebrating that they won the game. It was very cute. You have Thornton's one finger in the air picture as your wallpaper? Heck yeah. Love that. Love that. We bringing back McCole? I said here it comes. Because if you guys didn't know, McCole Hardman got released from the practice squad of the Packers. This post banged too. 1,800 likes, 120,000 views, 119,000 views. All I said is, here we go. Like, the Packers released McCole Hardman from the practice squad, and I could just see the Chiefs signing him to the practice squad. Would you rather have McCole Hardman in case of emergency, or, with all due respect, Jimmy Holiday or Hal Presley? I don't know. That's a question for the Chiefs coaching staff to decide. I don't think he needs to be on the 53-man roster or anything like that. I was just saying, I could easily see him signing to the Chiefs practice squad if they needed it. I don't think he's a need, but I just said, here we go. I'm expecting it at this point. Cole, which running back you think the Chiefs will most likely get? Well, we talked about the idea of Kamara and the idea of Breece Hall, but It's really tough to know. I bet you the Chiefs go get somebody we haven't really thought of, and you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe that'll work, and he's just a really dependable third down back or something. Ooh, the Sammy Watkins days. Yeah, somebody was talking about, I think it was Nate Tice of Yahoo. They were talking post-game Chiefs-Giants, and the Chiefs offense has gotten slower and smaller to some extent. And he was like comparing like the speed, like the average speed of their players on the roster and how often they hit an average miles per hour. And back then, Watkins and just all the fast receivers that the Chiefs had, what did they freaking call them? The Legion of Zoom. And like they got smaller and somewhat not as fast. Worthy's fast. Like Hollywood, in theory, he's fast too, but I don't think he's as fast as he used to be. Worthy, as fast as he is, still isn't as fast or as stout as Hill. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's an interesting thing that was talked about. We aren't getting a running back. Yeah, maybe not Zinks. And that's what I was saying. Maybe Brashard Smith slowly gets an uptick and starts to see his role increase. But if I had to pick two positions where I say, hey, the Chiefs should really consider going to get somebody, it'd be pass rush help and running back. Damian Martinez, I think he's still just available, isn't he? Jerome Ford has been mentioned. Okay. With the Browns. The problem is they're going to have to wait closer to the trade deadline. I don't know that any moves are going to be happening soon. Most teams, they still believe they can win, and they're not going to punt on players that are productive in their offense. Yeah, Pringle was another one. Yeah, man. I mean, it was Hardman, Pringle, D-Rob, Watkins. Some of the years blend together for me. You had Hill, but for sure. You are impressed so far with Omar Norman Lott? I feel like he looked pretty good against the Giants. A bigger test will be this week for sure against the Baltimore Ravens, but heck yeah. No more jet sweeps. I would like more jet sweeps personally. Doesn't have to be a ton, but you need to keep defenses honest and stretch horizontally as well and kind of keep them guessing. And I saw a couple of promising, I think Nico Remigio had a jet sweep for 11 yards and Brashard Smith had one for 5. But you do them a little bit more often. That, the quick passes, the bubble screens, just not to Travis Kelce unless they have just some weird favorable matchup to make that one happen. It's just an extension of the run game. It's the quick passing game. CJ Gardner-Johnson got released. No, don't bring that guy in. He is locker room cancer. You can afford CJ Gardner-Johnson probably, but I don't want him. You guys want him? No way. No way. Noel Williams has impressed me. Hey, thank you, Paul. That is something I wanted to bring up earlier. He's one of the highest graded rookie corners, I think, in the NFL. Small sample size through 3 weeks, but still, that's a positive. And I think he'll only get better. He's drawn some penalties because of his play style. He's very aggressive, handsy, but they play a lot of press. So you're going to have to deal with that sometimes. And I liked what I've seen from Noel. He's kind of had to play out of necessity. Nazi on IR, Christian Fulton not playing. You have Jalen Watson, you have Trent McDuffie. But the last 3 weeks, Trent McDuffie in his slot, his percentage of snaps in the slot has gone up. And then that means Noel Williams it's probably Noel, Jalen Watson, right? Those are your two outside guys. And then Trent McDuffie's kicking inside at a bit more of a frequency. And so they're trusting Noel to handle some more responsibilities on defense, which is fun. Ray said, head case for show. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good on CJ Gardner-Johnson, man. I'm going to pass on that. Noel Williams is balling. Heck yeah, man. I mean, that's a definite positive on defense. I liked what I saw from Omar Norman Lott. I thought Ashton Gelati has shown some flashes too. It's going to take a little bit of time. What happened to Sauce Gardner? Isn't he injured? Maybe he's not. Sauce Gardner also had to get evaluated for a head injury throughout the game, but he was able to return. Okay, there you go. He was able to return. The Jets happened to Sauce Gardner. Secondary did great this game. Yeah, Duchess for sure. They had a plan, and the plan was basically let them run the ball and check the ball down and just do all you can to take away Neighbors in the deep ball, and you're going to beat Russ. And guess what? It worked perfectly. Russ had no answers because if he can't throw a moon ball, he doesn't know what to do. He just doesn't know what to do, and he played so poorly that he got benched, and it's going to be Jackson Dart playing as the starter for week 4. Jeremiah said, why aren't we discussing the lack of productivity from Hollywood? I mean, I've kind of brought him up in the sense of he's just not really in this part of his career wide receiver 1 material. Neither is Juju Smith-Schuster. So I think you're still trying to figure out ways to use him, but he's struggled against contact in some of these games. So I don't know. When you say, why haven't we discussed the lack of productivity from Hollywood? I guess that would be the question I would have back to that is, well, what was your expectations for Hollywood Brown? Yeah, he's probably one of your primary guys with Worthy hurt and Rice suspended, but he was always going to be like wide receiver 3. And now you're kind of just divvying up some of his snaps. You got Juju, you've got Thornton, and still trying to figure it out. Hopefully Worthy can just return soon, and then you've got Rice. I don't mind Hollywood at all. I think he's got some strengths, and they've been able to utilize it in some capacity. But there have been times where Mahomes has tried to target him, and it hasn't worked out. He's been knocked off of his feet a lot or losing at the catch point and some of that other stuff. But I do like Hollywood. He's popped in the streams a couple of times. I think he is good. I don't know if that foot injury is affecting some of his burst at all. I know he had a banged up ankle foot training camp preseason, was still knocking the rust and the cobwebs off. So I don't know. I think he's okay. But yeah, the offense as a whole, I would like to see more production from. Jackson Dart's from your hometown. Both he and Zach Wilson, same high school? Really? That's crazy. He's going to benefit when the big dogs get back. Hollywood's okay. Hollywood gets jammed in the line of scrimmage too quick. We need Rashee, and we need him now. It's unfortunate, man, because, Rashee is suspended for, we've talked about it enough, but just poor choices he made a year and a half ago. He could be playing. This was completely avoidable, but you've got to pay the consequences for your actions and all that stuff. So that is a disappointing aspect of the suspension as you're trying to struggle and just get through these games. Yeah, Sneck just said, how do you like Noel Williams, Jeffrey Bassa, and Gelati so far? Yeah, we did just talk about Noel Williams a minute ago. I feel like he's playing well. He's one of the highest graded rookie corners in the league per PFF. He's trending up, getting more snaps, more opportunities. Bassa, I haven't seen a ton from him, but I've seen him make some splash plays on special teams, which is probably just where you're going to see him for now. And so he's made some really good tackles. I think they've sprinkled him in a little bit on defense, but liking that. Ashton Gelati, some flashes. Omar Norman-Lott, some flashes, but you just need to see stack days, stack good games, and kind of keep it going, and their workload will slowly but surely increase throughout the season a little bit here. You think Rice will be rusty? I mean, maybe a little bit, yeah, to be honest with you. He can't actually practice with the team until he's cleared. So, Monday for week 7, heading into the Raiders game, he can then practice with the team. Now, he's in the facility now. Halfway through your suspension, you can return to the facility for meetings and for individual workout stuff, but you can't practice with the team or be on the field with them. So he is back and starting to get acclimated again, reacclimate. What's your opinion on Travis Kelce's free Rashee, free 4 shirt at pregame? I talked about it last week when it happened, and it's interesting because I asked young Chiefs fans kind of what it meant to them, because obviously, on average, the older Chiefs fan and then beat reporters and guys who cover the league, they didn't like the optics behind it. A lot of the younger Chiefs fans were just saying, oh, that just means they're supporting Rice and they're excited to have him back and they're thinking about him. That's essentially what they took that to mean. But obviously the optics around it were people were saying, oh, that means they think he's unjustifiably being punished and he doesn't deserve consequences for his actions. I don't really think they meant that at all, but I could see, I guess, in my head how people could reach that conclusion. I saw the shirt and was like, I kind of just thought like, oh, cool. They're like just supporting Rice and they're excited to have him back eventually. But then when I saw the pieces going around and people saying like that is a bad look and all that, like, I was like, okay, I guess I could see how you get there. So I didn't really give you a great solid answer. Just that's kind of where it's at. I was like, oh, cool. Yeah, they just miss Rice. Then it was explained through Casey Starr and all the other places. I was like, okay, well, I guess I could see how you're getting there, but I really don't think that's what they meant. So that's just where I'm at with it at this point in time. Gateway with the 5. Hey, Cole, feel oddly confident about the Ravens game. I guess we'll see how it goes. Yeah, they've got some weaknesses that the Chiefs could, in theory, exploit. Why is the word free, though? Why is it not just a cool Rice graphic? Yeah, I think that would have probably came off less divisive, probably. But, like, free one. Xavier Worthy said free one on an Instagram story the other day, meaning, like, he wants to play. It's just a phrase that's why I started asking, like, younger people in Chiefs Twitter. I'm not old, but I'm now between I think the divide of, like, young Chiefs Twitter, old Chiefs Twitter. Old is a relative term because some people might view me as old. Old head. Well, I'm trying to balance thoughts like, okay, well, what does a 20-year-old Chiefs fan think and why? Because culture is different at a 14-year age gap for me than them. Like, they grew up, it's just different. So to them, that's not what it meant. It didn't mean anything other than, like, can't wait to have him back out here and balling out. But yeah, I could see why that particular phrasing had the optics that it did. Unk status, I might be 34. Maybe. Baby Cole. What are your PC specs? I just have a MacBook Pro. Sorry to disappoint you. It's right here. I just have it's like 2 or 3 years old now. Just a decked out MacBook Pro, like an M2 or M3 Max or whatever it was at the time with 64 gigs of RAM. And that's it. The shirt you're wearing's fire. Thank you. It's from the Foundry, downtown Lee Summit. I really like this shirt. I was like, dude, I got to get this. When was the last time that Mahomes had a fully healthy wide receiver room, like 1, 2, 3 was playing at the same time? Well, I mean, 2023 probably technically, but they didn't really have a great wide receiver room. That's the year the wide receiver room led the league in drops. That was Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, MVS. I'm probably missing somebody right now off the top of my head. Maybe was that Rice's rookie year? That might have been Rice's rookie year, but he didn't really come on until the back half of the season. And I'm glad that he did. But I think like 2022, probably. It was Kelsey, which is tight end. So, okay, put him aside. But that's your wide receiver one from a production standpoint. But yeah, Juju, who had almost 1,000 yards. You had MVS, Justin Watson. I mean, that was probably it, I guess. So really 2022 without the drops. Yep. Is Butker a real issue to worry about yet? So I did a short form piece on him and had some tweets about him earlier. It's interesting because some people were like, oh yeah, that's a concern. Let's keep eyes on it. It's a small sample size, because that was a caveat I gave. Like, hey, through 3 weeks of football, Harrison Butker is grading out as one of the worst kickers in the NFL, just from a field goal percentage, extra point percentage, and how many he's missed compared to made right now. It's, again, small sample size, so any miss is going to drop your percentage points down like quite a bit. But he's almost missed 5 field goals in 4 games. Or 5 kicks in 4 games, 2 extra points, 2 field goals, and 1 was a doink last week. You guys remember that? He doinked, I think, the first one in. So that was almost a miss. Now it was a make, but it wasn't like down the middle. It was that close to not going in. So there's some concern. I'm hoping he's just going through growing pains of adjusting his kicking style and no longer dropping to the knee like he used to. If you guys remember, after he sprained his ankle in like 2022, he came back and used to drop to a knee over and over on all of his field goals to keep pressure off of his ankle that he sprained. Well, that eventually wore down his meniscus a little bit, and he had to get that trimmed up, cleaned up. And so he's changed that, but hasn't been as accurate in my opinion. So I hope that's all it is. He's just going through some growing pains, and that's just kind of where we're at with it. But yeah, I think there's a concern. I'm not ready to hit the panic button. But then, you've had some comments saying you can't discredit his 8 years in the league on a bad 3-game stretch. And to one extent, I get it. But with a kicker, it's pretty black and white. Are you making your kicks or are you not making your kicks? If you keep missing your kicks, you've got to talk about it and say, this is becoming a concern. So right now, it's a concern. I'm not overly concerned. I think Butker will right the ship and work through whatever he's going through. But every point matters, man. I mean, you missed the extra point against the Chargers, and you're chasing that point the rest of the game. So you miss a field goal against the Eagles, and you lost by what, 3? There were other opportunities to win that game. Travis Kelce should have caught that ball for a touchdown, but every point matters. Rice is a dog. Crazy how many people have forgotten. Yeah, I can't wait to get him back out there. Jacob with the 5, speaking it into existence. Justin Jefferson is the Chief in the next 5 years and they complete the perfect season. Okay, I'll take it. Justin Jefferson and Patrick Mahomes, that would be a great combo. Did you watch the replays? He was dropping to one knee again against the Giants. Was he? I did watch, but I don't know that I paid attention that closely. I'll go back and watch all of his kicks because that's interesting. On every kick, he was falling to a knee? Randy Moss and Brady style, yes, sir. He started to, but he is pulling up. Oh, talking about Butker on his knee? My opinion, one of the biggest issues is Chris Jones' lack of productivity, especially how expensive he is. Yeah, even when you look at Chris Jones, like he's still getting doubled quite a bit, but he hasn't been winning as frequently as he normally would. So he's not as high up on some of the metrics that you would like to see him. He also doesn't have anybody else really helping him right now. I think George Karlaftis had a bit better of a game, but Mike Dan is injured. Charles Omenihu has underwhelmed so far. So that puts even more strain on Chris Jones because it's kind of like, think of it like, this is a bad comparison, but think of it like the wide receiver room. If you have no other threats that you have to worry about around there, you can just double up you could double up Kelce and just try to do your best to take him out of the game. Now, could Chris Jones win some of those sometimes? Yeah. And maybe a bit more often. I feel like the Giants game was a step in the right direction, but you also played against the Eagles, who I think have a top 3 O-line in all of football. Definitely the best right-left tackle duo in the NFL, so easier said than done. Small sample size, but hopefully they start trending up in the right direction. Yeah, the yards after catch for Rashid is insane. Yes, sir. Remember in the offseason when we were clamoring for NFL news? No more. Exactly, Johnny. No more. Now there's plenty. Now I'm just like soaking up all the games. I'm trying to watch the Chiefs' opponents. I'm watching coaches' film, listening to a couple podcasts that I like that'll dig into some of the deeper metrics that they see from watching film. And now you go from what news should you actually talk about to, whoa, it's an overflow kind of a thing. Somebody asked the same question 10 times. Well, they're probably just trying to see if I see it. I don't look at chat the entire time. I mean, I'm looking, but I'm also looking at the camera. I'm talking to you guys. I've got super chats on this side. So I'm not always seeing every single question. It will help if you put question marks, like 3 or 4 before and after your question if it's to me. They really stand out that way. Well, how do you feel about this? If we have a chance to get Tyreek, does his added talent outweigh his drama at this point? Because especially once we get wide receiver 1 and 2 back. I don't know, man. I think if Worthy was like for sure out for the year or something, I would be more entertained to go get another wide receiver. But you don't know what you have in Royals yet. Rice is coming back. Worthy is not out for the season, in theory. He's not on IR or anything and looking to try to play here soon. I think the wide receiver room is in an okay spot. with that context in mind, you also still have Juju, you have Hollywood. Like you've got some pieces there. I'm more concerned about running back and pass rush. If you had to pick two, I think you go get a running back or go get a pass rusher because you need some more juice in both of those spots. No Tyreek Hill. Well, yeah, and the thing about Tyreek too, he's dealing with off the field allegations again right now. I don't know if you want to deal with that at this point in time again. Who will win the Super Bowl this year? Chiefs. Who knows, man? For NFC, I think the Packers look good, but I wouldn't rule out the Rams. I know the Eagles just beat them, but wouldn't rule out the Rams, wouldn't rule out the Eagles. The Lions are looking really good right now. We'll see about the Commanders. And the AFC, same stuff. Chiefs will be one of the top ones. The Ravens, the Bills. I mean, the Chargers are looking pretty good right now. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. The Colts are humming, but I don't know that I like them making a deep playoff run either. Thoughts on the Cowboys? Dude, worst passing defense in the NFL, and it's not really close. They could use some pass rush help. They traded away Micah, though. They are not going to end well this season. I think Dak's playing well, but CeeDee Lamb has a sprained ankle. Tyler Booker, their guard, has a sprained ankle. BB, I think that's their linebacker. He's on IR with an ankle injury. They have multiple injuries, and it's not getting any better. I've already seen George Pickens on the sideline melting down, slamming his helmet repeatedly on the ground. Just like, wow. Wow. I don't think it's going well for them. Can you just get like a 2-minute rant on your trust on Jawan Taylor? I did earlier today or in this video, to be honest with you, pretty early on. It's just for me, it won't even be a 2-minute rant, but it all boils down to this with Jawan. He's a veteran and he knows better. Yes, he was unfairly targeted in 2023 with the alignment stuff, with moving quote unquote a bit early, but it's your third season after that now with the Chiefs. Like, this is your third season with the Chiefs. You have to adjust, and he's just not. So some of it, yeah, he had the offseason knee cleanup procedure, and he's still working back and knocking the rust off. He's a really nice guy. One of the nicest guys that I hear during his pressers. He's well-liked in the locker room, beloved by coaches, but it's just like, man, you got to stop drawing flags. You've had 50 flags in 45 games with the Kansas City Chiefs. You got to be done. Quit. Stop. Come on, man. Like, the illegal formation stuff drove me up the wall because you lined up too far back. Dude, you are a veteran in the game. I have more grace for, like, Kingsley because he's never played guard before and he's 3 games in. So with that stuff, it's like you just got to clean it up. Or Jalen Moore's coming in there, I hope. EGE, what's up, Peppa? My standard Cowboys joke is that the star is not a logo, it's a rating. Like a 1-star rating. Lamar Jackson over under 235 passing yards against the Chiefs. I'm looking up something. I'm looking up Lamar's stuff. I want to see his stats for a second. It's tough because I think the Chiefs will do quite a bit to take away the run. But what did he do last year, week 1, against the Kansas City Chiefs? 273 yards passing, and he had 122 yards rushing. And then through 3 games this season, 209 yards, 225, 288. You said 230 something? Man, I don't know. I'm not extremely confident in that line. If it was like a pick 'em, I don't know if I would pick that one. I don't know if I would pick that one. Packers just released Hardman. You know what that means? Yep, soon. Practice squad, maybe. We'll see. Chargers showed up on week 1, and we've been better since. Yeah, for sure. The Chargers came in with a good game plan to pass a lot, and it threw the Chiefs off guard. They were fully expecting a typical Harbaugh run-first offense, grimy in the trenches kind of a situation, and they came out passing. And Herbert's a great passer, so it definitely threw the Chiefs off. Whatever the over is for Lamar's rushing, take it. That might be something I'd be more confident in. Is Rashee Rice 2023 better than Worthy when healthy? Rashee Rice 2023? I don't really know, because Rice started heating up the back half of that season, but he really looked great in 2024. Like playoff stretch in 2023 through the first 3 weeks of 2024 before he got injured. They're kind of two different receivers, and they complement each other, so it's not really an apples-to-apples comparison. Worthy is your true speed guy that can stretch the field, but he's a bit more than that. He's a bit more than like your MVS, more valuable than that. But Rice is going to be your quick to intermediate guy, yards after the catch. He's going to win routes quick, a better route runner, more refined there, more polished, more of a he will plow through you, lower the shoulder, absorb hits, and just keep running, breaking tackles like that. So it's just kind of two different players. It's hard for me to compare and just say straight up like who is a better receiver, because they just have different skill sets, which is why the Chiefs have drafted both of them. You think Justin Herbert's overrated? I don't know. Then maybe you disagree. I think he's QB6 in the NFL. I know he hasn't had the playoff wins and stuff like that, and that's a fair knock. He kind of reminds me of Matt Stafford on the Lions. Who would be the right tackle? Moore? Yeah, right now, if Jawan Taylor got benched, I think Jalen Moore would be the right tackle and Josh Simmons would be the left tackle. Should George Karlaftis stay on the right side of the line? I mean, I think that's just where they've always had him, right? So I think they like him over there the best. I don't know if that's just like his preferred side. I would assume he played on that side in college too. I think you can just kind of keep moving those guys around, but if that's where the coaching staff likes him the best, I would defer to Cullen on that one. How's Pirine doing? Well, he signed a couple-year contract with the Bengals, but they're not doing great right now. I thought Herbert was overrated until he smoked us. He's a good quarterback. He's had bad coaching until recently, so that's going to help him. Should we get rid of Matt Nagy? Sure. Next offseason, like, I don't think he's going anywhere now. No team that's been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years and the last 3 in a row is probably like mid-season going to do anything drastic. But if they move on from Matt Nagy in the offseason and bring somebody else in, I'm for it. I'm definitely good with that. After 3 weeks, Ravens seem like a better team, like the better team by far. Man, I see holes in the Ravens game. Did you watch them last night? And they're like 31st in points allowed, 32nd in yards allowed, 30th in rush yards allowed per game. I mean, there's some holes in that team for sure, but on the same token there, like the Chiefs offense isn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard either. So it'll be an intriguing battle. I have a lot of respect for that team. Very well coached, another Harbaugh coached team. Lamar, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews is looking good. They were targeting whoever else I was talking about in that game. Rashad Bateman had 5 catches for 63 yards. So they have a good team. I like Kyle Hamilton. They've got that rookie Malachi Starks. You've got Roquan Smith. I mean, there's some players over there for sure. But I think there are some holes to their game, and the Chiefs have won every matchup aside from one against the Ravens in the Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes era. I trust Spags is going to come out with a great game plan, and you do have to execute. They're not the Giants. They are way better than the Giants. It's going to be a very tough, hard-fought game for sure. Casey almost lost to the Giants? All right, now this dude... Okay, I'm not going to answer any more of your questions or any more of your comments, because what are we doing? They won by how much? And they almost lost. Okay, goodbye. What's a team you hate the most? Hate the most? I mean, I'm not a fan of the Raiders, not a fan of the Broncos, any of the divisional opponents. I'm not a big fan of the Eagles, but they've kind of done their thing against the Chiefs recently, so what can I really say? The Bengals were a thing, but not really relevant anymore. Yeah, Raiders, Broncos, those are probably like the 2 in the division. Chargers was getting away with holding, no calls. I don't do that. What are you talking? Wait, Chargers were in the Chiefs game? Maybe. I mean, come on. You could go to every single game and break it down, and there's going to be a missed hold here, a missed flag here, a missed flag there. If you're talking about the Chiefs game, maybe you're talking about the Broncos game, and I haven't seen that one enough in depth to weigh in, but dude, the Chiefs had chances to execute in Brazil, and they just did not. They shot themselves in the foot, and I mean, they got out-executed for sure on one side of the ball, and then they were reeling with not having Xavier Worthy for a few drives, and it really threw things off, and then they started coming alive at the end of the game and just couldn't get it done. Get both Tyreek Hill and Achane from Miami. What's up, JPap? Thank you for the 2, brother. Yeah, I don't think Achane's leaving. You're not going to hit reset, fire a bunch of people, and then get rid of one of your most productive players that's still on their rookie deal. It doesn't make sense. Eagles in their full start push. Yeah. I mean, they should probably get flagged for it, but that's not why the Chiefs lost that game either. At least that's a very low reason on the totem pole to me. Harrison Butker missed field goal. Coaching gave up a field goal when they went for it on their own 35-yard line. Kelsey dropped the touchdown. I mean, that's 13 points right there. And the Chiefs lost by 3. Rumors are Chiefs want to pursue Achane. Well, I would want them to. I mean, if you're saying, hey, would you like them to? Yes, please. I just don't know how realistic that actually is. Is it time to replace Butker? No. But there are some concerns there. It's too early. The problem is you can't really just move on from him and his contract. I don't think they're going to, but that contract is wild. He signed a big extension last year, and he's got some big cap hits, a lot of dead money the next couple of years for a kicker. I think he'll work it out. I'm going to believe that he works through some of the growing pains and gets a little bit better. You could unfairly blame 87 for the first 2 losses. Yeah, sure. I think you could. I mean, if you just want to single people out, you could blame Butker for some of those losses too. But it's a game where you have to execute at a high level on a bunch of plays, and if you just don't execute here or there, you don't win the game. The Kelsey Worthy collision was accidental, and he was off with Mahomes in the red zone game 1. That could have been a touchdown. Sure, it would have made the game closer, but the defense still needed to stop Herbert at the end of that game, and they did not stop him at all. They won the game like that. Whether it was I don't remember what the final score was, but it was they still needed more points at the end of that game. The Chiefs offense did, even if they would have scored a touchdown there. So there was that, and then he dropped the touchdown pass that could have very well won them the game, and you can put blame on that for sure. They could have also won, potentially, with a Butker-made field goal, I think, and then the coaching not going for it on their own 35-yard line. But that's how it goes. That's how football goes. There's one play here, one play there, one play here, just not executed at a high enough level. A mistake is made, an error happens, and you lose the game. I think Worthy's going to be back next week. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Cole, face check. Because of the Rice suspension, the 3 amigos still haven't played a game on the field together. Rice, Worthy, and Hollywood. Yeah, I know. Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Pacheco looked good on the open run plays. Yeah, there are times when he looks fine. And I think some of it's just try it a little bit more. I would love more ran under play or from under center rather than gun. It's a mixed bag of stuff, but there's also been plays where there's yards to be had and Pacheco just runs it wrong and doesn't see the openings as they open in real time. And then the stuff that he did in the backfield, there's concerns, but yeah, if the Chiefs don't end up making a move, you literally have who you have, and you kind of hope that Pacheco knocks the rust off a little bit. That vision's not automatically, it's not like he can just go get LASIK and he's magically going to just see the field better. That's not how it works. He had vision issues coming out of college. He was a 7th-round pick for a reason. But hopefully he kind of gets into a little bit of a flow. You kind of know what you have in Kareem Hunt, and then Brashard Smith just gets better over time. The Chiefs finally really need a running back right away. I agree with you. I've been pounding the table for it. I don't know what good me doing that will actually do at the end of the day. But I would like to see a running back addition. Just will they do it? Can they make a trade? Can they get it done? That remains to be seen. The bad thing about Checo is the ball carrier vision. Yeah, I talked about that. For sure. Yes, sir. Chiefs fan let me down, thought he was a good one. Chiefs fan let me down, thought he was a good one. Oh, what did I do? What'd I do, man? We need to use Brashard more versus the Ravens. Sure. I think you'll see his uptick go up a little bit. Just slowly. I don't care. Use Brashard Smith. All right, fair enough. I mean, his snap count. Oh, not you? Okay. I was like, what did I do, Peppa? But yeah, his snap count is slowly going up. Just like Rice, just like Worthy their rookie year, they're slowly getting a workload increase. If you ever encounter a Raiders fan, just remind them of the game Derek Thomas sacked them 6 times, and it wasn't even his best performance. Yeah, I actually like going back, because he's one of my favorite players growing up. I like going back and like looking at the most sacks he had in a game, and then like rewatching those highlights. But yeah, he had 7 sacks 1990 against the Seahawks, but then he had 6 sacks in 1998 against Oakland. I was 7. And then didn't he have another game with like? Did he not have another game with like 5? He should be on. He's on there a couple different times, I believe. But yeah, some insane stuff, man. Rest in peace to the legend. One of my favorite players to ever play the game. You guys want to see something cool? So Sean Peterson, a legend of the channel, got me this. It's a Football Card Monthly. Beckett Football Card Monthly. It was August 1992, issue 29. It's Derek Thomas, but it's got his signature on it as well. I'm trying to... Yeah, you guys can kind of see it. It's right there on his jersey underneath his chin. But that is an authentic Derek Thomas signature, which is pretty freaking cool, man, just because... Obviously, he passed away, and the signatures can't just keep going. So this is one of my favorite pieces that somebody has gotten me. It was Sean Peterson, and that was really thoughtful of him. So I think about this quite a bit. And, yeah, my dad went to I was so young when it happened, but he went to would it be the memorial service that they held for him? Yeah, my dad went there. Pretty cool. Not cool. This was cool. Okay. This was cool. And then my dad basically said that was an experience he would never forget. So many people crying. That ordeal wasn't cool. So I kind of crossed my words there. But yeah, Derek Thomas, man, the legend, long live 58. Am I going to Baltimore next week or streaming it? I'm going to be streaming it. WBAE 13 says, I was going to respond to it. I was going to say, tiny little. Do you think Mahomes or Chris Jones would take more pay cuts to improve their surrounding cast? I mean, maybe to some extent. Mahomes will. His cap hits the next couple of years are in the 70 millions. 70-something million dollar cap hits. So he every year is doing that. They'll rework his deal. They'll create some more cap space for sure. Whoa! Brenda Pike with the $10 super sticker. I appreciate that. Jacob with the 5 to follow that. Fun stat, a coach and QB duo who have been together for 5 years with no Super Bowl appearance in that 5 years ended up never making the Super Bowl together. Really? So maybe like Josh Allen and Lamar kind of a thing? I mean, if they don't do it this year, I don't know when they're going to do it. You know? We say that every year, but it's just like, are they going to get there one year? I don't know. Hope not. Hopefully the Chiefs just keep doing it. Yeah, Tonka, I do want to go to a Chiefs game this year, for sure. I'm going to have this stream up, and we'll probably have Alex call a game when I go. And then Brand and maybe FLDB, like just like a combo of them helping, but heck yeah. Highest donation? I don't even... Some people were going insane. I think I've seen like 500s. 500 bombs. But again, I never expect anything when I do this stuff. So all that always blows me away because I'm like, what the? Like, what? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, you guys are crazy awesome. I appreciate you. Thanks so much for hanging out. It is 10 o'clock. going to call it a day. Get ready for bed and have another big day tomorrow with Chiefs content. We've got some pressers tomorrow. We've got Ravens coming up, so there's plenty to be talking about, plenty more content coming your way. Thanks, mods, for holding it down. Appreciate, guys, all the super chats, the dono bombs, the gifteds, all of it. It means the world to me that I get to talk football and hang out with you guys, and this is my job. So it's not lost on me that I get to do this, and I get to hang out with you guys and talk Chiefs, talk football, and have a blast doing it. I'm pretty sure we're going to do all the members stuff on Thursday night, so that's in 2 days from now. Members-only stream. I'll then take a break for my Fox 4 interview, followed by the members-only Zoom call after that. So appreciate y'all, and until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?